Hello, everybody. This is Elena of the Witch's Box here with our Friday live guided meditation. Good morning. Um, yeah, I see that some people already here. Hey, Mimsy, how are you? You have a new name again today. Um, I'll wait till other people arrive. What's going on? It's a very beautiful fall day. This is my favorite time of the year. It's probably the best thing that's going on right now, I have to say. And um I have my heater on for the first time in months and months and months. So because your girl forgot to bring long sleeves and a sweater, and the heater is cranked up and I've got my warm drink, so I'm very excited about that. So all right, let's see what's happening. We've got an excellent connection. My mic is working, the camera is working. It's dirty hair day here at the Witch's Box. Let me know how you're doing, Mimsy. Are you still around? How's it going? I also want to say, for those of you who are catching this on the replay, Emily comes through after we've done the live. It usually takes a couple of days, a day or two, for her to come through and timestamp these so that when you watch this on the replay, hopefully you're doing that now, you can go right to the meditation. However, there are times in which I give a little bit of an explanation about what we're going to do and what we're doing it. And so you might want to catch that as well. But we do this so that in the future, if you want to keep doing this over and over and over again and have someone guide you through it, you can just go straight to the meditation and not do the whole preamble that we do here. Because I do a little intro, some announcements and things, and you don't necessarily want to hear that every single time you watch the video. Hey, Ralph, how are you? Oh my goodness, we have a hurricane on the Cape today. Oh gosh, I hope you're going to be okay. I'm okay. I am slowing down a little bit, resting up as much as I can. It's been a little bit of a week. But the hurricane, I hope that you stay dry. The house stays safe. I've never been through a hurricane, but apparently hurricanes are a big deal. They're doing a lot of damage. It's a thing. It's a thing. Announcements really quick. Boxes still going out. Today should be the last day. If not, then tomorrow for sure, because we're down to the last few. On Monday, single box sales for the Throwing the Bones box will happen. They'll go live. I'll send out an email about that. Any other announcements? The registration for Invoke Yourself Holy Witch is still open. We still have a few more seats left for that. And then for those of you who have already attended the Invoke Yourself Holy Witch, we're doing a single day ritual around that for only those who have taken it before, and the link and the information to that is in the forum for Invoke Yourself. At some point next week, I'll send an email out too, because I know some people haven't checked the forum, but that's available. Hi, Jen. Hello, Emily. Other than that, let me check in. I don't think that there are any other announcements. I haven't made this an official announcement yet, but we are adding on upgrading the moon ritual coven. So by the time that the next dark waning moon happens, which I think happens in about a week-ish, you will be seeing a little added extra to the modules, which I'm very excited about. It's part of a process. We're going to kind of shift it up and give it a really nice upgrade. Hopefully by the beginning of November, that'll be all up and running. This is not an official announcement, but the official announcement will go out soon. And so look forward to that if you're part of the Moon Ritual Coven. And I think that that's it. Catlin, hello. Rebecca, hello. So Rebecca says, hello, I'm still debating if I want to get a Witch's Box for my birthday next month. Money's tight for me, but I'm thinking of treating myself. What do you all think? Well, they can let you know, but I will give you the hint that the November box, well, here's what you need to know. Tomorrow is the last day. This is a big announcement, actually. Thank you for reminding me. Tomorrow is the last day to subscribe to the Witch's Box in order to ensure that you get the November box. Because if you do it, let's say October 16th, which is Sunday, you won't get the November box, you'll get the December box. So factor that into your decision making. The other hint is that the November box is like a cozy, bookish box. It's book heavy, this box. So that is all I'm going to say. Hello, Julmar. Hello, welcome. And Mimsy, I think I said hello to you because I saw you here first. Emily's got the links to all the things there. So thank you, Emily. Okay, let's start talking about what we're doing today. I'm going to take another sip. It's actually so nice and warm. Okay. So today's meditation is potentially very easy. Not that easy or hard is ever a goal, but it's simple, and yet it's not, right? It's always those paradoxes. Most of what we do, first of all, most of our lives is a constant state of hyperstimulation, right? We're at home, we're not maybe engaged in our technology, but we have family, we have the, oh God, I didn't clean up that room. Like there's constant external stimulus that we have in our lives. And then you add to that the fact that we're always logged in, clicked in, wired in to something happening on social media. We're chatting with all our friends. I had this hit this morning when I was looking through just to see what's happening on social media, like if I needed to check in on something. And, I don't know, I lost like 40 minutes because it was video or reel after reel after reel of someone talking about something interesting about, a cute little animal. Right now, my latest obsession is, and I can't, Peggy and Millie, or I don't even know what the name of this account is, but it's like a Staffordshire Terrier or Pit Bull mix that has a best friend that's a magpie. So it's a dog and a bird. My latest obsession. They're best friends, and all I do is like watch them obsessively because it's the sweetest thing I've ever seen. We are constantly being barraged by external stimulus all the time. And not that this is necessarily a bad thing, but it definitely keeps us externally engaged. And by the same token, when you come here for a live guided meditation, I am providing you with that stimulation as well, because you're being guided by me. You're listening. Even while you're meditating, you're listening for my voice. You're listening for where I'm going to guide you to. You're listening for what we're doing, right? So you're externally engaged. And this can be great, but it can also be incredibly taxing. And it also does not allow enough opportunity, or it allows for us to not take the opportunity to return our attention inward, even when we're doing a guided meditation, which are great. They have their place. It's important to do this work. You are still connected out to what's happening so that you know what you're doing. So the purpose of this meditation here is to practice being inward. And it sounds simple. It might even sound boring because there is not a lot of stimulation involved here, but turning our attention inward and really anchoring into the breath, everything becomes internally sourced. The breath and the motivation for breathing, the mechanism for breathing is internal to you and you alone. The sensations that are created by the breath are internal to you alone. The sounds that you're hearing internally in your body are just unique to you alone. You are practicing being self-sourced in the stimulation. Along with that, we're meditating. Along with that, we're doing very measured, very intentional breathing. And that has a massive cascading and positive effect to our nervous system, to our immune system. Our bodies shift when we're in the breath, as well as our energetic body. It is a powerful tool that we don't really give enough focus to because there's so much, there are all the bells and whistles of the external ritual, the external spell, the being guided by someone outside of you. Those things have their place, but we always, always, always need to return to that internal place, that internal sourcing. It develops the muscle within you to really be well tethered to your intuition, to your internal dialogue, to your internal sensations, to the way that you are internally connected to yourself in order to really strengthen the connections that you have to what's outside of you. So that's what this is about. We're really just going to be breathing together. And I'm not going to give you a lot of instruction at all once we get into, like, you know, I always give you the intro, like the pathway in. And once we're in, you're going to be breathing. And I want you to be really conscientious of the fact that there may be some resistance, there may be some boredom, there may be some like, oh my God, that itch on my nose, I can't stop it. Or holy cow, how long is this going to last? Because I have to do X, Y, and Z. We rely on external stimulations to keep us engaged. It's much harder to learn to keep yourself engaged when all of it is in you. Again, it's a very powerful tool for exercising that spiritual maturity muscle to learn how to be internally sourced with your stimulus. So we're going to be doing that today. When you start to feel like the itchies and the restlessness and the distractions, just come back to the breath. Return to, what does it sound like? What is it feeling like? Is it deep and long and slow? And is it the same pace? Like, just return to the sensations of the breath over and over and over again. Things begin to fall away. And that's the goal here. Okay, I'm going to look at what's happening in the box before I bring us in. Let's see. You're welcome, Rebecca. Some recommendations for the box. I'll let other people answer that for you. Catlin says, Rebecca, I'm in the same boat. Unfortunately, I can't afford the box every month, but I save up to purchase single boxes when I can. It's definitely worth it. Thank you, Catlin. They're not cheap. I mean, that's the truth. They're not. And the sad thing is that we have been due for a price. I'm not going to raise the prices, so don't freak out. But we have been due for a price raise for a while just because shipping has just gotten so exorbitant. And so I recognize that it's just not in everybody's price range. And so for that reason, we do things like this where there are still other opportunities for connection, for growth, for practice that's free or at lower cost. So there's that. You are able to do it for 1 month and not every month. So the way you would do it is that you would subscribe, like you go through the process, you pay, you check out, and then you turn right back around and cancel your subscription. So what would happen is that you are then in line to get the box, but then for the next box, you won't get recharged. You won't get the next box. Does that make sense? Bear Paw Shilohs. Hello, Nancy Schmidt. Hi, Elena and all. I'm new to the Moon Ritual Coven. Oh, good. Well, welcome to the Moon Ritual Coven. I don't know if you heard the announcement earlier. The Moon Ritual Coven is going to be upgrading in the next few weeks, so be on the lookout for that. And then let me. Oh, so good. Take a sip. Okay. Start to get yourself settled. We're gonna go into the meditation. Again, for those of you who are new, you might not know what this is, but start to establish your meditative seat. Hopefully, for those of you who are doing this regularly, you already have your meditative seat set. We don't have to really prompt you to do that, but if you want to have a candle in front of you, you can. You don't have to have anything with you. You want to be comfortable. You want to be in a quiet space. If you want to light a candle, you can do that in a minute, or incense as well to support you. All the things that you need. I always recommend that you have a journal around so that you can just jot down. It doesn't have to be a long thing, but jot down some of the things that you experienced, some of the questions that came up, some of the ways that you were having an experience, so that later you have documentation as to how you move through this. And I think that is it. Hello, Mint Fairy. Oh, thank you so much for that. I'm gonna do some housekeeping super quick by pinning Emily's message. Okay, we're gonna go in. So get comfortable and begin by closing your eyes. And as we do, just tune into the way you're naturally breathing right now. You don't have to do anything. It's just about checking in. We're pivoting our attention inward. What does your breath sound like naturally? Now you can slowly begin to breathe with intention. You want to go longer, slower, deeper, almost like you're testing the capacity of your lungs. So you want to go as deep as you can, and then exhale it slowly. And you can try this 3 times so that each time you breathe, it's deeper and deeper. You can feel that stretch of your breath and your lungs. Go as deep as you can. Like you're giving yourself an internal stretch. But then begin to settle into something that's comfortable. It's intentioned and it's slow and it's deep, but it's not at your complete capacity, right? So that you are taking a long, deep inhale, letting it out so that it flows. There's no effort here. Allow yourself to greet your breath and the experience of breathing, savoring the pleasure. It's abundant, it's nourishing, it sustains you, and it's always there. Really pay attention to the sensations that your breathing creates within you. Note your natural rhythm, sinking into that steady in and out that's just all your own. Let this be your anchor. As distractions come in, noises from outside or right next to you, or internal distractions, just return to this anchor. There's a constant rhythm of the inhale, the filling of the lungs, and the slow release. Always come back to what it feels like internally. And remember that your exhale is its own cleansing ritual. Let the exhale carry out whatever is not serving you, whatever is distracting or restless or bored within you. Let it ride out bit by bit on your exhale. knowing that each inhale and exhale creates more spaciousness within you. Continue this way, in and out, slowly and deeply. There's nothing but you and your breath. And then, on occasion, when a distraction comes through, you just let it go and return to the breath. Be in this practice. Remember to come back to the breath when the distractions and the restlessness sets in. Do 3 more rounds of breathing. And when you are complete, transition back to the we in this space and this gathering. And once you have done so, take a little moment, not a long time, but a moment to write down what the experience was, if it felt difficult or easy, if there was distraction or restlessness, or if there was just a pure flow state, whatever that is for you. Write down what your experience was. So, a couple of things while you're all writing or coming back. There are instances or meditations or journeys that we do that are intended to be a portal opening, right? To receive a download or to receive messages or to receive visions. This is not what that was. It's important to create for yourself opportunities where you come into stillness and quiet. It's like clearing the slate, or cleaning house. It's an important part of our practice because it helps establish not only boundaries and the practice of setting boundaries, but also the practice of clearing out energetic space within us. And those are just two of the things that this does for you, because there are huge benefits biologically, psychologically, emotionally. Your nervous system needs this. I say that because I see that there is a comment, and you may not be meaning this, butterfly love child, but it can be really easy to slip into that trance state where you begin to receive images. When we do these practices, the intention setting becomes important because we become much more adept at tuning out other stimulus, whether it's a download or it's a distraction. And so if you kept seeing a car accident, what I would say is that that would be in the category of distraction for now, right? Because the intention wasn't to receive information, the intention was to come into silence. And this is really great information because it just gives us all an awareness. This can happen where we start to receive either visions, images, or just a barrage of persistent distraction. And that just simply means that we have monkey mind, right? Our mind isn't yet trained to be able to say, I am just focusing on this one thing, the inhale and the exhale, and whatever that experience is. It takes a lot of practice. We were only in for 10 minutes. Right? So I want just to kind of let that land, because for some of you that might have been like 5 seconds, but for some of you it might have felt like hours and hours and hours, right? And it might have been hard to stay in. And there's no judgment. This is just where we all happen to be on our own personal continuum. But again, when that happens, nothing is going wrong. You're not doing it wrong. It's just an opportunity to keep the practice going. This is why we practice. We return to the baseline. We return to the beginning over and over and over again. And that's the nature of having a spiritual practice. We get to practice the thing over and over again. And over time, the benefits of such begin to accumulate for us. The other thing I want to say is that it can be really tempting. I think that I got a hit that we need to, because we have so many new people here, which is beautiful. I think Emily's still around, to include the link to the establishing your meditative seat video in the email announcement for these each Friday, only because once we're in, it's important that we don't chatter in the box, because we are each, even though we're all in our own spaces, our own homes, our own cities, our own countries, our own whatever, we are energetically coming together as a ritual body, a community. And the way I show up to our community in this particular practice affects everyone, and the way you show up to this space affects everyone as well. We're tied in energetically in this way. And another opportunity for ritual practice is to show up fully and to understand that there's a responsibility in that holding space that you do. And so that's one of the reasons why we say no chatter in the chat box once we've started. Even though we have burning questions and we want to be super helpful, it's important to let it wait, because we all have something else that we're doing together. Mimsy says, I really enjoyed this. These easy ones are nice to have to be able to focus on calming down. I know it's ambitious to try to create 2 separate YouTube channels. It's just how I needed to, and I think you're not continuing, but okay. Yeah, I don't know that it's necessarily easy for everybody. Jen says, wow, I'm a hot mess today with distractions, but found some good patterns. Beautiful. Also tried to practice breathing for when I'm at the dentist, since that distraction of worry kept popping into my head. Beautiful. And that's the thing. The more we practice this, the more easily we can access it in those moments when we're out in the world and we're like, I need to come inward. I need to get centered. This is part of becoming centered and embodied, the breath, and being able to tune in this way. So the more we do this on our own, I mean, do this every morning. This is like a thing that we should be doing every morning. Truly. I don't like to should, but I'm shoulding. You know what I mean? We did 10 minutes. You can do up to an hour. You can do as much as you can. Even if all you have is 3 minutes each morning, it's an important practice, because when you're in the middle of something that is creating a lot of anxiety, a lot of worry, impact that's super overstimulating, we can super quickly over time have the capacity to access, like, okay, I'm just going to come into my breath and let everything fall away for a minute and come into that stillness. It is incredibly powerful to have this as a tool in your toolbox. It's amazing for your own personal self-care. It is also amazing for your personal magic and connection as a witch. The ramifications and the benefits of these are super far reaching. Hold on a second. Mint Fairy says, I have a pair of noise blocking headphones that I use because I have a noisy house. That's also a great tool. Don't ever discount or exclude tools like that. This is one of the reasons why too we have this whole idea around establishing your meditative seat. Maybe part of what your meditative seat is are noise canceling headphones, or even those little like those little like they're not plushy, they're like spongy, ear plugs to keep the sound out so that you can help focus. Absolutely, those things are not spiritual. They help. They're a part of your meditative seat. So those are great. And Mint Fairy got them at Home Depot. Lovely. Emily says yes. I'm not sure to what, but yes. That's the key word. Practice always. And the only thing about the word practice that I just want to dispel always is that in the overculture, the idea behind practice is that we're striving for perfection. And that is not how we're using the word in our own spiritual paths and practices and in the way I teach. Practice is just showing up and repeatedly practicing. We're not aiming towards anything other than starting again, trying again, engaging and being present. There's never a moment where you're going to be at the perfection, I've arrived, I never have to practice again because I got it. That's not what we're striving for here. Because the juice, this is the mystery. These are parts of the beautiful spiritual mysteries that we get to play with as witches. The juice of this is that when you're just in the practice, what starts to come up naturally, what starts to shift for you naturally is exponential. You don't even have to know that it's happening, because all you're doing is coming back to the breath. And it sounds like, how does that make any changes? It does. Over time, it does. And there's no need to strive. It's just about the continuous evolving that happens when, oh my God, another distraction, come back to the breath. And Oftentimes, sometimes we're super lucky, super blessed, something happens and you get to be in a flow state for a half a second and it feels like an hour, and you come out of it with another distraction but realize, oh, that was amazing, and then you come back to the distraction and you come back to the breath. It is this repetitive thing. So please, if you have that idea that we're practicing for perfection, that is not at all what we're doing. It is just the act of coming back to the thing over and over again, almost too with beginner mind. All right, let me. Hi, Catherine. Yep, you can definitely catch it on the replay. Emily just shared the link to how to set up your meditative seat. So for those of you who are joining us and doing these for the first time, or in the last recent, I don't know, month, although I haven't really been doing these in the last month, definitely go back and check out that video on how to set up your meditative seat, because that helps you set up your environment. And there are some tricks and tips and powerful reasons and intentions behind the way we approach where we sit to do our meditation and how we set ourselves up. Okay. Catlin says, distractions came up for me as well. My brain kept wanting to wander and stew on things that have been causing anxiety, but I find I'm getting better at recognizing these distractions. Absolutely. You will absolutely get it. You develop a facility, which is what's beautiful about this. Oh, and Emily, yes. Also, let's everyone thumbs up, like, and share video. Yes, do all of the social media things, please. Laurenberg, hello. Doing the breathing in the shower is a good practice, like less likely to be disturbed. That too. Yes, yes. I mean, I know that there are, how many of us have people in our lives, in our homes, kids, dogs, cats, pets, right? That we live in community. Excuse me, and finding quiet and finding alone time can be a challenge. Oftentimes, I know people don't like to hear this, but sometimes I suggest if you need to wake up a whole 30 minutes before everybody else does, which might be 30 minutes earlier than you normally wake up, do that. Give yourself as much quiet time or silence as you can alone. Even that, it can be its own practice, especially when we live in a home with other people and we have a ton of responsibilities and people to like wrangle and manage and facilitate, even if it's just 10-15 minutes, can make a world of difference, especially when it's just every day, it becomes a habit. The sacrificed sleep is worth it. Or you can tack on the 15 minutes or half hour on the other end and go to sleep a little earlier, but it can be super duper helpful. Emily says, I try to do it after the kids are eating breakfast and before I need to run around and help them out. For years, I only meditated in the evening because they were up so early. Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. We have to figure it out for our personal lives. We all have different schedules. We all have different like situations. And so getting super creative about when you can kind of put it in there is key. And then Emily says, when they were babies, I always got up at 5 a.m. to work out and meditate. And then they started to wake up earlier and earlier. And now I'm so tired, I just can't get up so early. Yeah, because at some point it becomes like what, 2-3 o'clock in the morning, then it becomes untenable. Yeah, earplugs are definitely very helpful. Francesca, hello, so calming. Thank you. I really needed it. I found a few distractions too. The message was like, girl, you need to work on your boundaries. I mean, and there you go. And I mean, on a subtle level, the boundary of returning to the breath. I'm only here for the breath. I'm only here for the breath. That also helps to strengthen your boundaries. Jen, I love these meditations. They've made a big difference for me. I'm so glad. Every Friday, this is a set appointment that I don't miss and so look forward to. I'm so glad to hear that. Thank you. Disturbances, noisy neighbors, yes. Emily says, oh yes, just 10 minutes is amazing, and a longer one before bed, or sometimes I have time for 20 minutes and it's such a treat. It is. It can be a really amazing treat. I mean, it sounds super luxurious to I know people, I've been this person in the past, I'm not currently, and I feel it, where an hour and a half to 2 hours of just sitting in practice is a thing. It's a daily thing. And the difference it makes in how you approach every single bit of your life is mind-blowing. I am not doing that now. I really wish that I was. It can be a massive, massive luxury, especially when, at least in my tradition, it's called when you're a householder, when you have kids, when you have partners, when you have who has an hour or 2 hours to sit in silence and just meditate? Not many. But know that at some point is also available for you. I also find, and I forget this and I'm coming back to it over and over again because it's my own practice, that when you prioritize something, time kind of makes itself available for it over time. This is one of the things that I petition my deity for, where it's like, help me come back into right relationship with time management. It's the external stimulus that we're also constantly dealing with that make these things really hard as well. Emily says, when I don't get a chance for it, I am so much grumpier. I mean, we get grumpier. Our nervous system doesn't get a minute to recharge. Our nervous systems are overtaxed in a really, really big way. And for those of you who are like, how does this apply to my magic? I mean, the more exhausted we are, the more drained we are, the more frazzled our nervous system is, the less effective our magic and manifesting in the world is, period. There's no way that you can separate your state of being or your skill set from the outcome of your magic. So there's that. She-Hulk, that's funny. So like that. And I got a little chance to meditate a little bit too. I didn't do it for the full 10 minutes because I was kind of mindful of where we were at, but it was nice to be able to have that. So there you go, everybody. It's a short one, but certainly come back and listen to it as often as you need. But you know what this is. You actually don't really need me to guide you through it. This is one of those meditations that you have everything you need. It's easy to remember. You just go in with the breath and you sit. I highly encourage you to try to find yourself a couple of minutes each day to do this. And if you want to go big and do extra credit for yourself, morning and before you go to bed can be amazing, especially as you're preparing. For those of you who are doing a lot of dream work, as you're preparing to do all the things that you're going to be doing before you go to sleep, like between your ablutions where you do the face washing and the teeth, brushing and the thing, and even maybe if you're doing teas like mugwort and damiana before you go to sleep, give yourself 5 minutes of silence and breath meditation, and then see how the experience of taking in your tea and sitting in your dream intention shifts for you, and then go to sleep and see what that's like, because that's also that can create a really profound deepening for you in that practice. Hold on a second. Mimsy says, unless you are in the proper place for magic, what you are intended is fully there. What you are intended is fully there. I don't know what that totally means. Mimsy, can you say that differently? Mint Fairy says, a few minutes of chill will help so much. I know, right? We need, I mean, look, in a perfect world, I'd be doing it every hour. Like that. Wendy says, regarding the witch's box, is there only a one-time $75 fee? And then each 15th of the month? Yes. And so as we're asking this question, let me just then go quickly into like that announcement, because we talked about it at the beginning. Tomorrow is the last day to subscribe to the Witches Box in order to ensure that you get the November box. If you subscribe, let's say on the 16th of October, which would be Sunday, Sunday, your first box won't happen until December. So there's that. And it's a subscription, so you get charged on the 15th of every month after your first initial payment. Now, here's the caveat. If you subscribe after the deadline, which is tomorrow on October 16th, and your first box is going to be in December, you pay on the 16th, and then you won't get charged again until December 15th. It's a little wonky, but you always pay right after your first box, not before. I hope that wasn't confusing. Isn't fully there. Okay, let me read what Mimsy said again, because I've got the words now. Unless you are in the proper place for magic, what you are intending isn't fully there. Yes. Anything else I need to tell you? And then just for those of you who are asking because of the box, and November is a boxy box. I mean, not a boxy box, a book heavy box. We're going to be like, it's cozy. It's a cozy book reading lovers kind of box. And that's all I'm going to tell you. And Mint Fairy says, yes, twice a day is my routine. In the morning during my walk, then an hour before bed. My son is used to it and prompts me when it's time. Oh, I love that. I love that. Training the littles becomes, I'm sure, a big challenge, but over time it's possible, which is beautiful. Even if it's like, okay, kids, and they're like squirrely and like itchy and running around, it's like 30 seconds. We're going to just like close our eyes and take 2 deep breaths for 30 seconds. Usually they can handle that, and then they can go on, and let that be like a way to weave into their own patterns. Like, we do this, we take a minute to take some time for ourselves and turn inward. And maybe it's only 10 seconds, right? Because when they're like teeny, they're toddlers, or they're like, you know, there's always that like what squirrely decade where they're like impossible to wrangle. Even if it's like a 10-second thing, but it just kind of begins to ingrain in them their own personal self-care, what an internal or spiritual practice might be, how to self-regulate, because again, this is also about self-regulating our emotions, our nervous system. So many things can happen when we, I mean, God, if I would have been taught this at a young age, who even knows? I'd be ruling the world right now. I'd be ruling the world right now. I love the little emojis with the boxes and the heart, or the books. Why do I keep saying boxes? I have boxes on the brain. Books and hearts. Emily says, yes, mine used to like yoga with me and breath work, but now they don't. They are 5 and 7 though, so plenty of time. You definitely have plenty of time. And it's like a wild time. I mean, right? Like the whole world and everything. I don't know how kids don't explode. Like literally just explode with all of this energy that they have running in them. I'm quite envious of that energy. I have to say, Janet, hello, welcome for your first time live. I'm glad that it was a beautiful experience, something magical doing this as a group. Yes, perfect timing on my intention to pick up this practice once again. Perfect. I'm so glad that you're here. Thank you for saying that. They definitely should teach meditation and mindfulness in schools. Hello, Renee. Okay, Renee's talking to Janet. Love it. Laurenberg, yeah, that's what I do with my nephew. I consider it my auntie duty. Beautiful. Beautiful. Wonderful. All right, my loves. So that's it for today. I will be back here on YouTube next Tuesday for our live oracle reading and witchy Q&A. And then again next Friday. Yeah, next Friday for another guided meditation. And that's it. Remember that tomorrow's deadline to subscribe to the box if you want the November box. And the October boxes. Oh, I just reached internal temperatures that were too high. So I'm kind of phasing out of my camera. So don't mind that you can't see me. Let me keep talking until I close this out. Boxes are, October boxes are almost done being mailed out. They should be done by tomorrow at the extreme latest. And oh yeah, it's all flashing. I know you can't see me, but just bear with me for a second. Tanya, hello. It's been a while since I was here, but let me tell you, you look fantastic. Oh, Tanya, thank you. That's so sweet of you to say. And then Min Fairy says they offered yoga via Zoom last year for his school, so he kind of got used to that chill time. Oh, what a wonderful thing to offer. Wow. And during that time, I'm sure it was super helpful. All right, I'm going to close it out because my camera just completely overheated. So I love you all. Thank you for being here. Thank you for joining us in this practice. Again, always throughout the week, we've got a whole repository of other meditations that you can watch on the replay. So catch that out. And then, how funny. Min Fairy says, oh my God, I thought you meant a hot flash. I have also reached internal temperatures that are too high. Listen, that's a whole other conversation for another day, but no, this is my camera because I have my heater on, so it's kind of warm in here. All right, my loves, I will see you next week. Have a wonderful weekend. Take care of yourselves, and yeah, we'll see you soon. Bye-bye. Interesting. Oh, because I have the heater on. This is